higher plant students, photosynthesis occurs particularly in the specialized cells, which we call them as mesophyll cells of the leaves. So here, this is the transverse section of the leaf wherein you could see this cuticle, the palisade parenchyma here. The palisade cells are highly compact, longitudinally arranged cells, and you see the mesophyll area over here. This is the spongy mesophills. Lots of chloroplast is present in the spongy mesophyll and the palisade area. Mesophyll cells contain chloroplast, which are the actual site of photosynthesis. So this whole of the region, along with the palisade cells as well as the spongy cells, constitute the mesophyll area. You see, now let's see the whole of the transverse section of the leaf. You see the cuticle, the epidermis, palisade cells, which I told you are longitudinally and compactly arranged, just like I gave you an example, like, a whole of a sari, when it's draped, we make pleats. So the big length of the fabric is being very well compactly, arranged, and it takes a smaller space. In the same way, these cells are also arranged. Apart from that, you see the veins, the spongy mesophills, stomata, and you see the lower epidermis. So majorly, could you see these longitudinal cells and the round cells? Here, the major chloroplast area is present. So here, majorly the chloroplast is present. And now we land up onto another question, and the question is, chlorophyll in chloroplast is located where? And the options are grana, pyrenoid, stroma, or both grana and stroma. What do you think is the answer? And the answer here is, students, A, that is grana. Chlorophyll in chloroplast is located in grana. Now, during this process of photosynthesis, it fixes carbon dioxide majorly. This carbon dioxide, which is here, it's been fixed into carbohydrates, right? Students, it's very important that you be aware of the diagrammatic as well as the real image of the transverse section of the leaf, and you must know the position of each and every cell. That's the cuticle, upper epidermis, palisade mesophyll, spongy mesophyll, the lower epidermis, the stoma, the guard cells, where they are situated, and also the vascular bundles like the xylem and the phloem. So the cuticle is majorly for protection. Then you see the upper epidermis, a series of cells. You see this majorly from here to here, from here to here majorly, this area is the mesophyll area, which is further divided into palisade mesophyll and spongy mesophyll, right? And you can see that how much chlorophyll or chloroplast is being accommodated in the palisade cells. Students, there is also a reason why these palisade cells are vertically placed, because if we place them vertically, then we'll be able to accommodate more of them, more in number. And as you know that palisade cells have more amount of chloroplast, so more exposure, so more number of palisade cells, then the more the number of the palisade cells, the more will be the photosynthesis, because the exposure will, that is the sunlight, will fall on them and through them on the chlorophyll, and thus photosynthesis will happen. So this is the main reason of their compact arrangement. Chloroplasts, they are double membraned. Okay, so you always need to know that it has got two membranes, that is the outer membrane and the inner membrane. This is the inner membrane and this is the outer membrane. The space that is limited by the inner membrane of the chloroplast, that's called as stroma. A lot of questions will be asked on this, and you would get confused. So there is a space called as stroma. There is another thing that's called as grana. So you must know what is stroma, what is grana. So stroma is majorly that space which is limited to the inner membrane of the chloroplast. Okay, that is stroma. Apart from that, a number of organized flattened membranous sac-like structures that you see over here. So you could see the sac-like structures over here, you could see. So these are called as thylakoids, and they are present in the stroma. So stroma, and then the thylakoids are present in them, which are arranged in a stake-like piles of coins. You keep a lot of coins one above the another. So that is how they are arranged. The thylakoid is in the chloroplast, basically contains most of the machinery which is required for the photochemical reaction of the photosynthesis. So it is the thylakoids which consist of most of the machinery. They contain the pigment of capturing solar energy. So that very special pigment is enclosed in the thylakoids. So here let us pay attention to this very diagram. So you see, this is the transverse section of a leaf, and this is how you could see the upper epidermis. You could see the mesophyll cells, you see the lower epidermis, the substomal cavity, and further we zoom in the chloroplast, wherein you could see the stroma lamellae. You see the stroma, and you could see the thylakoids which are there, the inner and outer membrane, both the membranes, you can see the inner and outer membranes that are there. And this is the chloroplastos, you see the nucleus and the vacuoles over here.